Just curious because I had like looked at it before, but I didn't know.
I have it too. I have a different company, but I have it too.
We did like 2 or 3.
Is that a new thing
We've
for you,
done other
Jack?
stuff.
I've been ordering for like the last like month or so. Hello, Dad. I get it. I still live at home, so like my mom cooks it.
W.
But like I'll get it. Yeah.
That's way to do it.
No, it's good though. I think it's called Home Chef. So I get it.
Okay.
She cooks it and shit. Like, and they have good options. Like, there's like some salmon stuff. There's some different like chicken stuff. Like, it's stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think of or like know how to make without having the ingredients in front of you, which is I think is a good part of it. So it like keeps you from like making the same type of chicken or the same type of this or the same type of shit over and over again. And it's
Yeah, but I have my second like straight turkey and cheese for dinner.
And like it, yeah, exactly. Like it's not cheap either. Like I think I get like 5 meals a week, and like it can range depending on what you get, and it could be like, yeah. Well, it's for like 2 people and stuff. Like we do it like around 5 times a week, and so it's like 120 to 140, which is like it's a decent chunk of change. I mean, right now I'm not paying money on rent too, so like I can at least help with the fucking food.
Yeah.
And so like, what does that come out to though? It's like $20 to $30 a meal for 2 people, like to feed 2 people. Like it's really not that bad if you really think about it. But
my only complaint is you don't have any reheats. That's the one thing I don't like about it.
Yeah, because it's like a perfect portion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect portion if you just want to have 1 portion.
Exactly.
Sometimes
yes.
I want to have 2. But no, it's delicious. We used to get like 2, and then we upped it to like 3 a week, and we did it bi-weekly just because it gets so expensive.
It does.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
a
going to
lot
do
of
it.
money.
Like once I move on my own, like it's not going to be like a sustainable practice. But for right now, like at least testing it out and seeing like how it works and shit. So like, I'm okay with it for now.
I think using the menus would be good. Like saving the recipes. I mean,
yeah.
And then you have them like in the back pocket. If you have like the app for at least like for HelloFresh, because Jill's got it on her phone.
Yeah.
Like it keeps like a backlog of everything, which is pretty cool.
Home Chef sends you like the physical paper, like copies of the recipes, so you can.
Oh,
Like,
they
put
do
it in
the
a
same
binder.
thing for HelloFresh.
Yeah,
exactly. Do you actually put it in a binder?
I don't know. I don't make them, so I don't know. If I put it in a binder.
They're probably in the trash, but they do send you like a digital copy of it, so that's kind of cool. But
yeah, I think you can go on the website and look too. So it's nice to have it there because like I do wonder though, like would it be cheaper or more expensive? Like obviously the delivery cost, but like just the materials, like getting the meat, getting stuff. Like I wonder how much cheaper it would be to go out and buy all the stuff you need for it. Right, because
they probably buy it in bulk, right? And then they
Exactly.
package it away. But at the same time, like they have to be turning a profit. So like certain things, like, I'm just wondering where exactly they're making most of their money on. It's like GameStop. Like GameStop actually didn't make a lot of I worked at GameStop briefly. They make their money off used games and like used consoles. It's because the profit margin, like, so they, you pay X amount of dollars for a new console, and that's what they get for whatever inventory, and then they sell it to you for a marginal gain. However, if they're selling a used console that they buy for like $40 or $50, and then they flip that for $200, then it's a huge, massive profit margin. A lot of companies, actually, like producers of games and stuff, hated like GameStop because of that. But I digress. Let's talk Celtics.
Anyways,
it's frustrating.
We don't have to.
We're here.
I don't know
Reese's
if I want
Cups,
to.
Landon. We did a candy bracket on our latest podcast for March, and Reese's won the best candy goat, which is
who did it beat out?
Kit Kat was in the finals.
Kit Kat was the other.
It's a fitting finals. Kit Kat. You're not a Kit Kat guy?
No, I like Kit Kat. I feel like I would have other candies over it.
Well, the bracket was a little Mickey Mouse.
There are certain corners of the bracket. Well, like Runts was on the bracket. We didn't make the bracket. Like,
okay, all right.
Yeah. We didn't make the bracket of candy. We found a bracket of candy. Like Butterfinger wasn't on the bracket. That was the biggest snub of the bracket. Like, how are we not gonna have Butterfinger on the bracket? What are we doing?
Gonna have Butterfinger, Twix,
anyways,
Snickers.
Twix was on there. Snickers was on there.
Take 5.
Take 5 was not on there. Take 5.
Crunch Bar, Mr. Good Bar.
Crunch Bar was on there. Mr. Good Bar was on there. Mr. Good Bar made a final 4.
I do like Mr. Good Bar.
See,
Mr. Good Bar
100
was
Grand's also pretty good too. I come around in 100 Grand.
I don't know. I haven't had it in a while, but I remember not having too fond memories of 100 Grand.
It's just a bunch of peanuts stuck to like a bar camera.
Yeah,
it's really good though. It ain't bad.
Anyways, I have the Celtics starting 5, so we can segue into actual Celtics talk here.
Yeah.
About standard, about what you'd expect with no Robin. Peyton Pritchard also out tonight, so you won't be seeing him. Not that you were seeing him anyways. But my dad a fan of the chunky bar. Yeah, Celtics.
Ruth.
Baby Ruth also not in the bracket, but we did discuss it afterwards. Anyways, Celtics not good lately. Bad team.
Very bad. Very bad.
Not good. I will say we talked about this on the podcast too. New pod out today, I believe, so you can go check
this
it
morning.
out. Yes, I did not tweet it out. I'm a bad host. Cavaliers felt like a step forward. Like they definitely played better. Obviously, it was the same problems at the end, but you could see the at least the progress of like playing for the first 3 quarters, which I know that hasn't been the biggest problem. But are the losses that bad? I tune into y'all talking about chocolate. Hey man, we got to comment.
One of my favorite chatters. He just doesn't miss. He's always funny.
We talked about Candy to avoid dealing with the harsh reality.
Yeah, come on.
It's like what normal people do. Like they eat their feelings away, but we're doing it in a talking form. We're just going towards the candy.
Yeah.
John saying Celtics might be bad lately, but at least they still get to play today and still love this group. Yeah, I've said this on the podcast too. Like it sucks what's happening. Like you never want to see the Celtics blow leads, but it feels like as much as the bar was the floor with the Nets game, like you could see them play a little better in the Knicks game. You could see them play a little better in the Cavs game. You still have the same problems at the end of the game, but like it feels like this is just a rough patch. And I think Randy said on the broadcast, if the Nets game was game 15 and the Knicks game was game 40 and the Cavs game was game 60, right, we wouldn't be having this conversation because like these games do happen. It's just the fact that it happened back to back to back that I think is the bigger problem and the thing that does cause concern. And like Judah said, like there's not much you can do when Mitchell's on fire, but you can control the things you can't control. And the Celtics didn't get offensive rebounds. Joe Mazzulla was mad about that pregame again today. You cannot turn the ball over. You cannot take stupid shots. And Joe Mazzulla talked about, getting good offensive shots. He did once again defend the threes, not in the sense that like, those threes are fine. He said, like, I feel like it's less about the quote unquote bad threes we're taking and more so like we're just taking bad shots in general.
Did you ask that question?
Yeah. I did not. No.
Oh, I saw you tweet it, and I was like, I'm so proud of him if he asked that.
I did not. No, but I knew you would like the quote.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, that's really great. That because it was a good answer. It was insightful. He kind of because typically Joe has really just been like, just take more threes. Like that's been his thing. And this is the first you've kind of seen him not completely step back, but at least acknowledge that there is a negative to it. The second half of it, which is probably what you're going to talk about.
No, what I didn't tweet was the prologue to that. Gary Washburn asked the question.
Oh,
and Joe goes, we're still 4th in the league in threes, by the way. I wonder what the media is saying to the top 3 teams. Oh man, they must be getting killed for the amount of threes they're taking. So you kind of fuck with you a little bit. And Gary said
I do.
Yeah, Gary's like it's excruciating, and because
that's what he said.
Gary has been calling every loss in postgame. He's used that adjective, and after the Knicks one, Joe goes, "You really love that word, don't you, Gary?" And so, like, it was a funny interaction. There was no like bad blood, but like he did like admit that there are such thing as bad shots, and he did say like it's such thing as bad offense. Judah saying, "Me personally, I can't be down until they get knocked out of the playoffs or not win it all." Yeah, like this is. I feel like that's where we're at. Like I said this to Sam, and I don't know if you agree as well, Tim. It feels like a part of the Celtics is like they're so focused on playing well in the playoffs that they've kind of like gotten bored with the regular season, which is not like an excuse. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but that's what I feel like is happening.
I don't know how much of that applies to this season. I mean, I think you could say that about this season in particular because they know what they're capable of when they play up to their potential. Yeah. This is mostly the same unit. And you added some really good talented pieces, especially with Brogdon. Derek White's obviously having a great year. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest problem that I have with it is it's like the same trend that you saw last year at the beginning of the season. It's a trend that you've seen in the playoffs. It's a trend that you saw in the finals to a certain degree, where they just took their foot off the accelerator and they were taking bad shots. They weren't taking care of the ball. They were blowing leads. Like, that's a problem, and it's haunted them in the playoffs. And it's part of the reason why when they finally got to the finals, they were exhausted because they had multiple games that they let slip through their fingers where they could have closed things out and gotten a little bit more rest. And who knows, maybe a couple days difference would have helped at the end of the day. I'm not going to sit here and argue about like, oh, if they won this and didn't have to go to Game 7 versus Miami in Milwaukee, like maybe things like shake out differently. I'm not going to sit here and try and, say that was going to happen, but like Tatum says he's gassed at the end of the day. One reason that you should try and, sustain leads so you don't have the Jays out on the floor constantly. He's at a career high in minutes per game right now. Same thing with Jaylen. Like, in order to rest these guys, you need to have like either a comfortable lead in the standings, which you need to do by closing out games that you should freaking win, or you just protect leads so you don't have to have them come in. So you can rest in the last 5-6 minutes of the fourth quarter. I don't know how many games they've been able to do that this year, and they've been one of the best teams in the NBA right now. So it's just like, it's just that it's stringing together, right? Like it's back games where they've blown leads. I could care less who the opponent is. Like, you were in the driver's seat. In Monday's game, I had it penciled in as a loss to begin with. Then they gave me hope because they were playing really good, and then they just pissed it away anyway. So it's just like, it's just insult to injury at that point.
I will say this. Yeah. At least Monday's game was kind of funny. Like, that was the funniest way they could have lost that game. And I thought it was so annoying. I hate that they blow leads. I am like the big.
There he goes. All right, I'll take over. As Justin said, we lost in overtime with 3 of our top players out. I think this is part of it. And this is why I said, like, if that was a one-off loss. It didn't need to go to overtime. Exactly, but if this was a one-off loss in like the middle of November, like no one would care. But it's the fact that it came after 2 games where they blew leads. Like, it's the optics of what happened, in the context of what happened lately. And obviously, like, Grant missing the free throws sucks, and you can't do that. Like, you got to hit the free throws. And you saw the thing about the elbow today come out, but like, I tweeted this after the game. Like, Grant played so well in that game. It looked like he was back. It looked like he was getting his confidence back, and then the whole story is going to be at the free throws, and that's fine. I understand. Like, that's a crucial moment. Talk shit to Donovan Mitchell. Sam and I talked about this too. If someone gets in my face, I'm going to talk shit back, right? That's like whatever. But you got to back it up, and that's the bottom line. And he didn't, and it sucks. And that's going to be the reason people blame the Celtics loss on. In reality, there were plenty of other problems with the Celtics where they shouldn't have lost that game. But sorry, Sam, I'll let you get back to your point. I took over when you froze.
Yeah, no, isn't it funny? I just sat here for 10 minutes, and then as soon as I talk, it freezes. Isn't that just the best? Oh, look, it's doing it again. It's doing it again.
No, you're fine. You look fine.
Here we go. All right, funniest loss of the year, right? Grant, the best part of this game is Jack and I were watching it together. We did the show Monday. We just hung out in the room, and we never stopped. We put it on like the stream or whatever we were watching.
That's kind of cool.
Jack goes, or Grant goes to the line. I have supreme confidence in Grant. Grant, the stats tell you, great free throw shooter in clutch. I believe before that he had missed. And then just overall for his career, very solid from the free throw line. Misses both. Jack knew it the whole time, and he was in shambles because he knew Grant played a fantastic game. Even getting to the line at that point was a big feat. Like, hustled, got the offensive rebound.
He also got screwed on the prior play.
and he got screwed on the defensive play, right?
Not a foul.
And then everybody was going to forget it because he missed those free throws. And he did it like he was a prick about it too. Like, he was talking smack. And then the best thing about Grant was like, he was like, yeah, my hand hurts. Like, really, Grant, your hand hurts after you made 4 straight threes the first time you made a shot in like a month?
It is
now it
quite
hurts.
Convenient when that
he's
information dropped.
That is so embarrassing. Like, just don't say anything. Just say you missed. Just say you missed. I think that makes it worse.
What made it worse is that he should have just shut the hell up, gone to the line. If he clunked both of those free throws, I would have been like, oh, man, Grant, like, that sucks. Like, it would have felt like it did when Jaylen missed those free throws against the Knicks. Like, it's like, oh, man, like, that's
he got baited into saying something. Donovan Mitchell baited him into saying
He was dumb enough to take the bait.
I know.
That's the problem that I'm getting bothered with, man. Like,
he's in the heat of the game. He's
contain his emotions
as
I sit here enraged. Like,
he's an emotional player.
He's an emotional player for no goddamn reason. Just
if it's me out there, I'm telling him I'm making both. Because I would think I'm going to make both.
Just nod. Just go, okay, Donovan. And then you say,
I need the tea here.
What? Yeah.
I need the tea here. Lewis, you mock it. Luke was infinitely better. Like, I went on like a 5-minute rant on this morning's podcast.
Oh, no.
Why the fuck was Mike Muscala in the game? It didn't make any sense. He did not provide anything, and he played double the minutes of Luke and Grant. He wasn't making his shots. He's not a good defender, and I like Moose for his role. Luke Cornett was so much better than him in that game. Grant Williams was better than him that game. And if your argument is size, Luke Cornett is bigger. And if your argument was being able to battle down low, Grant Williams is stronger. I'm not one to blame Joe Mazzulla. That decision, that very tiny decision that doesn't actually matter in the grand scheme of things, it made no sense to me. And it pissed me off because I thought both of them were better.
Jack was not happy. We did find out when Luke Cornett plays, Celtics are usually really good. When Cornett's playing real minutes, there could be some garbage time jumbling up the stat.
When he plays 15 or more minutes, they're 14-1.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Which is like
typically Luke's giving you pretty good minutes.
I would love to see those stats with like garbage time taken out.
Yeah,
I bet you it's still not bad.
No, I mean,
it feels like he's giving you solid contribution every time.
Yeah.
Except for against the Nets, he was terrible.
And I can even expand it. Like, he's played 10 minutes or more in 29 games. Let me count the losses. 10 minutes or more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they're 22-7 when he plays 10 or more minutes. Like,
that's pretty good.
I mean, the garbage time might play a factor in some of them, but if we're getting to that much, and I'm not going to sit here and say Luke Cornett is the key to the Celtics winning. He's obviously not. I was just more talking about.
He's just not part of the problem.
Luke Cornett was horrible in the fourth, not grabbing boards, 2 layups, not taking.
Nobody was grabbing boards.
No one.
Yeah. Cornett didn't play in the fourth.
Luke thing. Yeah, he did a little bit because Lamar Stevens got that rebound. Remember the one I complained about it going to the corner?
Also, I feel bad, but I had no idea who the hell that guy was. Is he like a rookie?
Sam said the same thing.
Yeah, we were watching the game. I was like, who the hell is this guy?
I'm pretty sure.
Stevens, and I'm like, who is this?
That's my ball knowledge. I think this is his second year. He was I'm pretty sure he's an undrafted free agent. He's not like a great shooter. He's like a hustle rebound guy. Yep. I'm sorry. This is his third year. He was undrafted, and he's been on the Cavs all 3 years. But he's gotten more minutes this year. He's played 12 minutes, 16 minutes, 17 minutes. But he's not like a great shooter, but he's like a hustle and rebound guy, defense guy.
Fair.
So, yeah.
You know what's great is Nurkic is back tonight for the first time in a month.
Perfect.
Like, you bet they play
is
Celtics,
Nurkic back?
Suiting up. Yeah, I think Shams tweeted it. And I almost I think I was doing something, so I didn't tweet, but I was like, oh, yeah, like, of course. I will say the Celtics kind of seem like they're sick of losing. They're wearing the home whites again. They're taking it serious today against the Blazers. They kind of understand. There's a lot on the line here. If you lose this game at home, make it 4 in a row that you lose, people are probably going to boo you. If they blow a lead tonight, they should be allowed to throw stuff at him.
Yeah, Pritchard's out because, like, Evan Mobley fell on top of him. Mind you, I think Pritchard got fouled on that take, and he should have been the one at the line, but I digress. Also, phantom foul on Donovan Mitchell. Again, not the reason why they lost the game, but it was all the more frustrating.
Might have been. If he doesn't shoot free throws, the game doesn't get tied.
That's true.
Blame the refs.
It's the easy the Celtics. Stuff. It was Tony Brothers, though.
Refs have been on fire. This has been a big ref week. You had that. That was a little appetizer, right? Tony Brothers, phantom foul. They go to the monitor. They double down on the bad call. Then the next day you have Scott Foster get fired up and toss Scotty Barnes for nothing. And then you have Josh Tiven, who's a bum. Josh Tiven, terrible. Tech up Jordan Poole for throwing him out.
Yeah, I saw that. That was soft as well. No idea where that was coming from.
Tiven is the worst.
They're loving it.
Yeah, Tiven loves the monitor.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the face for the monitor, but he loves it.
I was going to say, he's got a terrible face. No. Face only a mother could love.
At least Scott Foster's like good-looking guy.
I loved the Jack
Foster. Very handsome.
Excuse me. I love the Scott Foster Jack Harlow era where he did like the mixtape for Jack Harlow. That was hilarious. That was elite.
I love the Enter Sandman one. That's Sam.
Yeah, I love that one. Worldwide Wob put out Ken Shamrock time Scott Foster collab, and it was just Scott Foster like pump faking the jump ball.
Who put that out?
Rob Perez. Worldwide Wob.
Oh, Worldwide Wob.
The GOAT. The Twitter GOAT.
Question for you, Sam.
Sam, how you feel about Smart's the game Smart's about to have? I sure hope he plays well. That's my guy. Said on the podcast, hasn't been really effective since he came back from injury. Don't know why. Seems like he's getting away from moving the ball around. He had a good first half against the Knicks, and then things kind of crapped out. I don't know if that's necessarily his fault. We've seen a lot more ISO ball as a unit, so that means the ball's just not popping around, especially when they're blowing these leads. A lot of early threes, a lot of contested threes, not a lot of good shots being created. So I'm hoping to see him pop the ball around. He's at his best when he's dishing out assists. Early in the season, We saw him putting up excellent numbers, notching double-doubles like it was nothing. Now we need to see him get back to that. I think that helps the team. And I think Smart truly is a leader on the Celtics team. Whether you like him or not, he probably is one of the best leaders that they have, maybe behind Al Horford. He really needs to set the tone for these guys. He needs to set them straight. They don't have Udoka anymore to kind of tell them like they're playing like ass and then like be real mean to him. So Smart kind of has to discipline the guys. I think there is a little bit of that in his role. All jokes aside, like Udoka's coaching style was fire. Like he'd just be like, "You guys suck," and then they'd be like, "Oh man, like he's right, we do suck," and then they'd stop playing bad. Mazzulla doesn't do that. He does other things well, but that's just not his style. So somebody's gonna keep him in check.
I'd like an explanation, Lewis, how you came to this conclusion.
Yeah,
because that's the easiest thing to do.
I said this to Sam on the podcast. I said, and this isn't a shot at you, Lewis. This is what I'm seeing on Twitter. Whenever the Celtics lose, people just kind of fall back into like who they generally blame. Like I pick on Sam, but it's not actually him. Like Sam will say they took too many threes, or the people who hate Joe Mazzulla will blame Joe Mazzulla. The people who hate Grant will blame Grant, right? Like people will just fall back on whatever they think is off.
My favorite is saying Tatum sucks. That's my scapegoat.
Well, you're not too far off lately.
Lately, he's been terrible. But he got that super cool Kobe trophy in the All-Star game. Thank God.
You're an ass. You're an asshole.
Thank God he got the Kobe trophy.
I do think Smart's playing through stuff in the same way that I thought Grant was playing through stuff. And, you know, he popped up on the injury report and they said it was the elbow. And then it just went away and we never really heard anything. And Grant's like, I don't know if I'm like able to talk about it. And then, you know, he clunks these 2 free throws and it's like, well, I guess like we could talk about it through back channels, like through anonymity.
He's like, I miss free throws. I'm hurt now.
Oh, okay. This is what he's saying. He's more talking about him playing 40 minutes scratch time and White can't guard.
Oh, yeah. No, that I agree with.
I
feel like everyone's kind of in agreement on this right now because I think
White needs to play more.
White needs to play more
Definitely.
Because he's been the best all-around guard for the Celtics this year. It's not debatable. It's not a statement on Smart. I think Smart started the year off really good. He got hurt. He came back not playing the same. And I'm wondering how much of that is just playing really hard on defense last year, and that kind of took a toll on his body, and then getting hurt start off this season and then having to come back and compensate.
I'll also say I think it's best when Smart and White play together. Like I do think like that lineup is best. Like
balance.
I don't think it's necessary to like play White instead of Smart. I think it's abandon double bigs and play double guards because that's what's been working.
It's time to rip the Band-Aid off. Double bigs is like a specific matchup thing because you can't depend on Rob anymore, and acting like he needs to start when he comes back is going to be a mistake because he's not healthy enough to do that. You need to stop acting like it's like going to happen. It's okay. Yeah, I think White should start, and White should be also closing these games out, and I think that's totally fine. It's the best spacing. It's the best play creation. And if you've got him and Smart and Brown and Tatum, and to a degree Horford, you've got four minimum guys who can handle the ball. All 5 players can shoot the rock. All of them can defend. Like I think it's your most well-rounded lineup.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt, especially when you're getting the paint packed on you, specifically against the Nets. When they were playing the Nets, it felt like Brooklyn was just letting everybody sit inside in the second half when the Celtics really collapsed. And the Celtics were just panicking. They didn't know what to do. So if you have more of an option, it does make sense. White has been so good lately, it's hard to justify leaving him on the bench. He's been reliable. He gets good shots. It feels like White never takes a bad shot. He gets himself into the paint, either creating a floater for himself or making that defense adjust and leaving one of his teammates wide open. We need to see more of that. We've seen the team get lazy in these last couple games, especially when they're up big, and that's why they keep losing leads. You see the tough threes that they take. You saw it against the Nets. It was like the start of the Avalanche there. They took 3 quick threes, let the Nets get away with not playing defense, and then it just snowballed.
I think Landon makes a good point here, too. I don't have a problem with Smart playing down the stretch unless they pull the ball in JB and JB's hand. Like, this is also true because when the ball is in JB and JB's hands, and obviously it's going to be in their hands at least a little bit, they're the star players, they're going to have the ball. But, like, when it's in their hands as much as it has been lately, they're going to take a ton of bad shots. Hello, Dave Dunk. We appreciate you. And I think this is a problem because, like, you saw that Knicks game. I know Sam and I have talked about Tatum's shot chart. He took 17 threes, and they were all above the break. And they were, all, like, I guarantee you at least 15 of them were terrible shots. Tim, you're muted, I guess.
Last time,
shots.
all the ones on the left side of the break looked like a penis. All right, that's the last time I'll do it. It did. It was real funny.
Chart.
Yep,
they did. But yeah, if Brogdon was a starter, he would have been our third All-Star.
Disagree.
No, I don't think so. I think he's best in his role on the bench. Tim, you're muted.
I think there's a reason why he's coming off the bench. Like, they're trying to keep him healthy, so I don't know.
He plays really good. He gives them a good spark off the bench is my thing, too. Like last year when you saw the Celtics go to their bench unit, you'd see the fall off. This year with Brogdon there, it improves bench unit. And, like, he's been great. I also think he's been probably, like, the third best guard. And that's not a knock. That's just, like outside of Smart's recent struggles, like, recently, obviously, Brogdon has been better than Smart. But, like, overall the season, Smart's done a phenomenal job of facilitating.
They all just do different things well.
Defender. Exactly.
Brogdon is a good, like, straight line attacker. And he's a really good three-point shooter.
The best on the team at getting in the paint, in my opinion, at least lately. Brogdon can get in the paint at will and score a bucket. Right? It's huge. So there's that. Sam, do you have a pick today? Do you have anything for us?
I don't have any picks. I haven't heard from him. So we will give no picks, day off, rest day, load management. But
for all you gamblers out there,
the picks have been hot. And go to Smash the Odds Twitter. Been giving out the daily freebies. College basketball tournaments are starting to get underway, the conference tournaments. So you can go there and get yourself a little bit of a free pick.
Hello, Sean. Thank you for tuning in. Finally made it. We're here. We've been here. I think it's important. I was talking to Sam again on the podcast. Looking at the schedule, Celtics have a really good chance to respond here over the next few games. I talked about it after the All-Star break. I was like, if they go 5-2 here, they have a chance for 60 wins, and then they don't anymore. I think 60 wins is sailed. That's fine. Like I said, I think they're a good team, not a generationally great team. It's whatever. But you look at the upcoming schedule: Portland, Atlanta, Houston, Minnesota, Portland, Utah. Like, it's a stretch where you can win at least all but one of those games. Like, and you should probably win them all. Like, you're good enough to win all. I
like the way you're talking, Jack. You sound like me.
They're a better team than all those teams, and I'm not gonna say I don't expect them to win them all because, like,
I do.
It's whatever, but they're capable of winning all of those games. So that's my thing. Landon saying MA goes live through 10. My dad's hyped for the betting in Massachusetts.
Good.
I will say I'm
Smash
sick
the
of
odds,
circled on the calendar like Christmas.
I'm sick of the betting ads, though. I hear them everywhere. It's
everywhere hammered with them.
You probably listen to our show and get them, so shut up.
Also, against bigger lineups, White gets muscled, so I can see him out of the lineup matchup base. I guess, but, like, he's still been the best defender out of all three guards this season, and that's saying something because Marcus Smart's the rating DPOY. That's not a knock on his DPOY season. Like, he's just having not as good of a defensive year, and White's had a phenomenal year. So there is that.
The streets are loving
Dame
the
for
Celtics
50.
tonight.
Yeah, everyone's liking the Celtics. Dame for 50. I love Dame. I'm excited to watch him regardless.
It's going to be fire when he hits a buzzer beater from Lucky's little shillelagh.
He weighs up
to win the game.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm excited for the game. But then even after that, then they have Sacramento, who's like, that's a good team. That's the first, like, okay, you can see Sacramento putting up a good fight. That's a high-quality playoff team. Then you got Indiana, San Antonio, Washington in the schedule. Again, three teams that Celtics are better than it can be. And then you got the Bucks, which is a big one.
Yet?
Yeah.
Like once, maybe.
Yeah, they have.
Feels like
they played them twice already. They played them October 30th, blew them out by 20. November 27th, they beat them by 9.
We played them twice.
Yeah, but the rest of the season, there are only three games that I think should be or could be losses, right? And I'm not saying they're going to win all of the other ones, but I'm saying they're better than all of the other teams, right? I see the Kings on the schedule, I see the Bucks on the schedule, I see Philly on the schedule. Those three teams are high-quality playoff teams that can contend with the Celtics. Other than that, Portland, Atlanta, Houston, Minnesota, Portland, Utah, Indiana, San Antonio, Washington, Utah, Toronto, Atlanta. Celtics are better than all of those teams. I'm not saying they're going to win all of them, but they're capable of winning all of them.
They should. They should take. They should be motivated at the very least.
Yes.
I wonder if they'll try tonight. What do you think? They trying tonight? You think it's been enough times that they've collapsed and they're going to be like, all right, we got to be careful.
Hey,
no running in the house.
They're playing D tonight, so
I hope so.
I can't believe they just keep losing games like this. How are they going to do it today? Like, what's going to happen? You had pretty much the most spectacular way they could do it last time. What's going to happen today?
This is what I say.
4-point play.
I think Celtics go up by 15 by halftime. Blazers bring it all the way back to within 3. And maybe they tie it at some point. and then the Celtics, I think they do end up breaking the winning streak. And we'll knock on wood here, but I think like Sam said, they seem motivated. They seem pissed.
Buy yourself insurance. Do it. 3 games in a row.
Sam is back on his insurance. I was thinking about this during this
hit all
streak.
3 games. I did it all 3
got
times.
some Celtics insurance.
He made $80 on the Nets game, right?
Yep, made 85 off the Nets. It got less and less every time, but I made money.
There you go.
Shameless.
All right, well, I think we can wrap it up there. Game's going to tip off in about 2 to 5 minutes here. Well, 2 minutes to warm ups and stuff. Anything else you guys got to say before we head on out of here?
No. Watch today's pod. Came out this morning.
Confused. They're going to try? We'll see.
Try 42 so you don't have to worry about the final 6.
Yeah, maybe. There you go. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it. Like Sam said, check out the pod today. Drop it on the channel. We talked about the Cavs in the next games, as well as Grant Williams.
Did a candy bracket.
We did a candy bracket as well, so go check that out. It's on the channel now. It's a 9 out of 10 right now. It's out of our last 10 videos, it's 9th best. So go help us out a little bit. Give it some.
Watch it.
Leave it a like. We appreciate y'all. You can check us out on Twitter. Those are below our faces. Make sure to subscribe to How About Them Celtics on YouTube. Check us out on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And heavy on Facebook. 30 minutes before every Celtics game, which is where we are. Like I said, 30 minutes before every Celtics game. You can find us here, giving you a little preview and a recap. But thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all very much, and we'll see you guys for the next one.
Cheers.